Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and, without saying much, command attention? Or how certain conversations leave you feeling more alive, more connected, and more seen, even if they weren't filled with fancy words? That's because communication goes far beyond the words we use. It's the energy we bring, the quiet confidence we project, the emotional resonance we create. And when you begin to understand those deeper, often invisible layers of interaction, everything changes. How people respond to you shifts. How they feel around you deepens. And the connections you create become unforgettable. Let's dive deeper into what really makes communication magnetic, attractive, and meaningful, and how you can master it in your own life. The foundation, authentic confidence. Let's start at the core, confidence. Not the loud, over-the-top kind that demands attention or dominates the room. Real confidence, the kind that doesn't need to prove itself. It's quiet, calm, and grounded. True confidence is built on a foundation of self-worth, not performance. It's the deep knowing that who you are is enough. And when that belief becomes part of your inner world, it naturally flows into how you speak, how you listen, and how you show up. Here's where many people go wrong. They chase validation in conversation. Constantly asking, "Was that okay? Do you like me?" or changing their opinions to match whoever they're speaking with. This might seem like people-pleasing, but what it really communicates is insecurity, and people sense it. Instead, you want to speak from a place of grounded self-awareness. You don't need to force anything. You simply know your value, and that calm certainty draws people in. You're not trying to be impressive, you're just being real. For example, say someone asks about your weekend. You could nervously say, "Oh, I hope that's not boring, but I just stayed in and read." Or, you could simply smile and say, "I had the best weekend. Got lost in a new book, totally unplugged. It was perfect." That shift, from seeking approval to simply sharing your truth, changes everything. Creating balanced appreciation. People crave appreciation, but how you give it matters. Some make the mistake of overpraising, throwing compliments left and right, even for minor things. Others withhold appreciation completely, afraid it'll make them seem weak or needy. The key is this: genuine, thoughtful acknowledgement. Don't compliment just to flatter, instead, notice the things that show depth. The effort someone put in. The way they stayed calm in a tough moment. The thoughtfulness behind their choices. You might say, "I really admire how patient you were just now," or, "I appreciate how clearly you explained that. It helped more than you know." Those kinds of comments stick, because they're real. Balanced appreciation builds emotional safety. And emotional safety is where deep connection lives. The magic of lighthearted banter. Now let's talk playfulness. Banter, the spice of flirtation, friendship, and connection. When used well, playful teasing, witty comebacks, or cheeky observations create spark. They show that you're sharp, relaxed, and confident, and they invite the other person to dance with you, verbally. But here's the secret: banter should always be warm-hearted. It's never about making someone feel small or pointing out real insecurities. That's not banter, that's emotional sabotage. Great banter is like fencing with foam swords. It's spirited, fun, and leaves both people smiling. So don't be afraid to joke. Tease gently. Toss in a sarcastic line with a grin. But always check the other person's energy. Are they laughing with you? Or pulling back? Your goal isn't dominance, it's joyful connection. The strategic power of pauses. You might not think silence is part of communication, but it is, and it's one of the most powerful tools you can use. A well-timed pause can emphasize a point, create suspense, allow emotions to sink in, or simply show that you're comfortable enough not to fill every second with noise. People who are insecure often talk too much. They ramble, over-explain, repeat themselves, because they're afraid of the silence. Confident communicators? They embrace it. They say something meaningful, and let it breathe. Try it. Next time you're speaking, pause for just a beat longer than usual. Let your words land. Give space. You'll be amazed how much more people lean in. Syncing with others' styles. Communication is also about attunement. Matching someone's energy doesn't mean losing yourself, it means understanding them better. Think of it like dancing. If your partner is moving slowly and sensually, you don't charge in at double speed. You adjust. You listen with your body. The same applies in conversation. If someone speaks slowly and softly, rushing them with intense energy may create discomfort. If someone's enthusiastic and fast-paced, a flat or overly reserved tone can create disconnect. Great communicators adapt without pretending. They honor their own style but tune into others to create shared rhythm. It's not manipulation. It's emotional intelligence. It's respect. Conversations about possibility. Here's a subtle but powerful shift. Instead of only talking about what is, talk about what could be. Ask about dreams, goals, hidden desires, things that light someone up. It's easy to get stuck in surface-level exchanges, what someone did today, what show they're watching. But when you talk about the future, you invite imagination, hope, vision. You show that you see people not just for who they are, but for who they're becoming. That kind of conversation is unforgettable. Telling meaningful stories. Everyone loves a good story. But great storytelling isn't about epic adventures. It's about emotion. You don't need grand events, you need relatable feelings. Instead of saying, "I went hiking," try, "There was this moment on the trail when everything went quiet, the wind, the birds, and I just stood there, feeling completely still inside." Paint pictures. Share sensations. Let people feel the moment with you. Storytelling creates connection because it bypasses logic and speaks straight to the heart. Knowing when to end. Here's something rarely talked about. How you end a conversation matters just as much as how you start it. Most people let conversations fade awkwardly. But if you want to be memorable, end on a high note. When you sense the energy starting to dip, smile and say something like, "This was such a great chat. I'm really glad we connected," or "Let's leave it here for now, I'm looking forward to picking this back up next time." Ending intentionally leaves people feeling good. It creates anticipation, and it shows you value quality over endless talking. The heart of it all, real connection. At the end of the day, powerful communication isn't about tricks or techniques. It's about authenticity, self-awareness, presence. It's about showing up with care, for yourself, and for others. Be someone who listens deeply, speaks honestly, lifts others through your presence. And most of all, enjoy the process. Because when communication becomes an art form, not a chore, you'll discover that every conversation can be a doorway to something deeper.